Welcome to Whispers of Wisdom, where every story hides a secret waiting to be told. Stay with us, and don't forget to like and subscribe, before the shadows find you. Chapter 1: The Test of Patience. Long ago, in a quiet village surrounded by green fields and tall mountains, there lived a wise king. He had ruled his land with kindness for many years, but now he had grown old. The people wondered who would become their next ruler, for the king had no children of his own. Instead of choosing a rich noble or a mighty warrior, the king thought of a different way. He wanted someone honest, patient, and true of heart. One bright morning, he called all the children of the kingdom to his palace courtyard. Hundreds of little faces gathered, filled with excitement. The king stood tall and spoke gently, "I will give each of you a seed. Plant it, care for it, and bring it back to me in 1 year. The child who nurtures their seed with the greatest care will become my heir." Among the children stood Ayaan, a poor boy who lived with his widowed mother. Though his clothes were simple and patched, his heart was filled with hope. When he received his tiny seed in his small hand, he held it as though it were a treasure. That very evening, he found an old clay pot, filled it with fresh soil, and carefully planted the seed. Each morning before school, he watered it. Each evening, he whispered prayers, waiting for the first sign of life. Days turned into weeks, and weeks into months. Soon, the other children in the village began to boast about their growing plants, tall shoots, bright flowers, even small trees. But Ayaan's pot remained bare. His friends laughed and mocked him. "Perhaps you forgot how to plant," they teased. Though sadness tugged at his heart, Ayaan refused to give up. He continued watering the soil, believing patience and honesty were worth more than lies. Chapter 2: The Day of Judgment. A full year passed, and the long-awaited day finally arrived. The king invited all the children back to the palace courtyard. The air was filled with excitement as families gathered to witness the grand test. Children came dressed in their finest clothes, proudly carrying pots overflowing with plants, some bursting with flowers, others with tall, leafy branches. Their parents walked beside them, heads held high with pride. Ayaan, however, walked quietly at the back. His clay pot was still empty, the soil dark but lifeless. He felt his heart heavy with shame, yet he refused to hide or cheat. His mother walked beside him, gently placing her hand on his shoulder. "Do not fear, my son," she whispered. "You have done your best with honesty, and that is more valuable than gold." When they reached the palace, the children placed their pots before the king. The courtyard looked like a beautiful garden, filled with color and life. Ayaan placed his empty pot among them, his head lowered as whispers and laughter spread through the crowd. Some children pointed at him, saying, "Look at Ayaan, he could not even grow a single leaf." The king walked slowly among the rows of pots, his wise eyes studying each one carefully. He smiled at the children, praised their efforts, but when he came upon Ayaan's barren pot, he paused. Silence spread across the courtyard. The king looked at the boy kindly and asked, "Tell me, child, why does your pot remain empty?" Ayaan swallowed hard, his voice trembling. "Your Majesty, I watered the seed every day. I gave it sunlight, care, and prayers. Yet nothing grew. Still, I could not replace it with another seed, because that would be dishonest." The king's eyes softened, and a mysterious smile appeared on his face. Chapter 3: The True Heir. The crowd waited for the king's reaction. Many thought he would scold Ayaan for his failure, but instead, the king raised his hand for silence. His voice was calm yet powerful as he spoke. "My dear children, today I must reveal the truth. A year ago, when I gave each of you a seed, I had already boiled them. A boiled seed cannot grow, no matter how much care it receives. The plants you see here were not grown from my seeds. They were replacements, chosen in secret." A wave of shock spread through the courtyard. Parents exchanged uneasy glances, and children lowered their heads in shame. The proud voices of those who had mocked Ayaan fell silent. Only one boy, standing with his empty pot, had remained faithful and honest. The king walked toward Ayaan, his robe brushing the ground as he approached. Gently, he placed his hand on the boy's shoulder and said, "This child, who chose truth over deception, is the one worthy of leading this kingdom." He did not seek to impress with lies. Instead, he showed patience, courage, and honesty, the qualities of a true leader. The people were moved, their hearts touched by the king's words. Many bowed their heads in respect for Ayaan, ashamed of their earlier laughter. Ayaan's mother's eyes filled with tears, but they were tears of pride. That day, the king declared Ayaan his heir. Trumpets echoed across the palace walls, and the villagers cheered his name. Ayaan, once the poor boy mocked for his empty pot, became the chosen successor of the kingdom. From that day forward, the people remembered the lesson of the boiled seeds: true success is not found in lies or appearances, but in honesty, even when it is difficult. Final moral: honesty always wins, even when the world doubts you.